So planning for success, things we do to ensure our success. We work with the Human Trafficking Task Force here to work on billboards, to work on signage and bathrooms and restaurants and bars and things like that. Just trying to raise the awareness. Doing events like this is huge because this raises the awareness and lets everybody know what we're doing and to contact us if you have any tips. We're looking to increase the understanding and awareness in the community through these presentations. We have this wonderful diversion program that we've developed in conjunction with our DA's office that Deb Manzanares actually is the facilitator for. It's a basically second chance for our adult victims. A lot of times when we contact the adult victims and we offer services, they basically go, hey, Paxan, I don't trust you cops. Just write me my ticket, let me be on my way. I know how this game is played. So we write them a ticket, we give them a court date. They go to court and the courts basically say, hey, you've been arrested for soliciting. We have this diversion program. If you're willing to go and do these 4 classes over a period of time, learn things about job skills, dressing appropriately, interviews, healthy body, healthy mind kind of stuff, and be aware of the resources available to you in the community, we will dismiss this ticket altogether. Because again, we are recovery focused. So we want to give these girls a second chance that when their emotions calm down a little bit, they have another chance to get that ticket dismissed, get some help, get some services, and get out of this life. So that's what that is about. We prefer to offer treatment over incarceration every single time. Heavy victim advocacy. We have an award-winning victim advocacy unit with the Colorado Springs Police Department. They are with us anytime we make a recovery so that when we make the recovery and contact that girl, the next person they see after a detective is an advocate that's offering services, that's offering assistance, that's offering a helpful ear for these girls. So that is huge for us. Again, those undercover operations, using local media. We prefer to be proactive versus reactive. We'd rather get into these people before things happen, kind of that early intervention model, rather than wait until they've been victimized and get in then. Of course, we'll get in whenever we can and try to get them out, but we prefer to get in early. Oops. So the obstacles that we have are numerous. A lot of times the victims are not real forthcoming because they bought into this idea that they need to be with the trafficker. They feel that it's their father or their brother or their boyfriend. They don't want to give up information on them, so that takes quite a bit of interviewing to get through. Detective Reed does most of our interviews. You're going to see her here in just a moment. She is magnificent with these girls, develops a strong rapport, and gets them to tell her exactly what's happened over a period of time, but those interviews are huge. Many of them are under the influence of drugs, makes it difficult for us to talk to them at that time. The Stockholm Syndrome, trauma bonding, all that is huge with these girls. So that there's a lot of barriers to work through there. It takes a lot of time to work through those, but we are more than willing to put in that time for these girls. Sometimes the investigators maybe, and no slam on the investigators, but sometimes they're just ignorant. They don't really understand the model of human trafficking and what's really going on, and they think it's just another prostitute. So we, of course, are working to change that within our law enforcement community. Runaways from home, the mental illness, all the things we've already talked about here. Sometimes it's difficult to collect evidence because there's a lot of things in phones, very time consuming to go through those phones. We had a pimp that had 10 phones and 3 computers on him. Very time consuming to go through all that, but a gold mine of information when we did. So does it happen here? Yeah, absolutely. In 2014, our first year in existence, when we're kind of learning about all this, we opened 63 cases. We did 36 separate operations. 12 of those were multi-agency, where we're partnering with El Paso County Sheriff's Office, State Patrol, Homeland Security, FBI, things like that. We made 22 felony arrests last year, 47 misdemeanors. We recovered 29 juveniles last year, 44 adults. We arrested 11 traffickers and 17 sex buyers. This year so far, we've opened up 92 cases. We have 19 adult recoveries, and actually that number is going to go up after our Operation Cross Country numbers go in there. 6 juveniles, 42 vice operations, 11 pimp arrests, and 46 sex buyer arrests. So we are trying to approach this from every angle and make it happen. So I'm sorry I've gone over my time a little bit. I know you guys are probably anxious to get to the refreshments, but any questions you guys may have, I'm more than willing to answer for you. Yes, ma'am. No, the question was, why aren't there more pictures of the sex buyers? There was the 6 up there. We actually did another release after those 6, but because we choose to wait until conviction, until they're found guilty to post their pictures, we have to wait until the case has been adjudicated, be it a misdemeanor case or a felony case. We don't want to put any pictures out there for somebody and then have that case later be found to be dismissed, or we didn't have enough evidence, That opens us up to a lot of issues, so we prefer to wait until they're found guilty, and then we'll post the pictures. It's public record at that point, but we do wait for batches. So instead of releasing one here, one there, and kind of diluting things down, we prefer to wait for batches. We've actually got another batch that's just about ready to be released, so look for it. It's just when we get enough of the Johns who've been adjudicated and found guilty that we'll put a batch together, and typically our minimum is about 3 Johns that we like to put out, but anywhere from 3 to 6 is what you're going to see from us. We post them on our Facebook page, and then whatever the local media chooses to do from there is kind of up to them. The Gazette and the Independent have said they're not going to put the pictures up. That's fine. The local news stations have put it up, and once we put it on our Facebook page, we find that it gets distributed fairly widely. So yes, ma'am. The names are published. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. That's why we wait for the cases to be adjudicated for them to be found guilty, because then it's public record that they have been found guilty for this charge. And we're saying nothing more than this person was found guilty for this charge. That's actually part of a federal case. Yep. Yes, ma'am. So can the Johns be, I'm sorry, the first question, can the Johns be the sex offenders? That's beyond us. That's a legislative issue or something that the legal system deals with. So we let them deal with that. And as far as, sorry, what was the second question? Tattoos, do the pimps put on the tattoos? Oftentimes the pimps will require that the tattoo get put on. We had a couple of girls that had a crown on the side of their neck and another one had a crown here, and they both said, "God save the king." And it's just kind of one of those, you belong to me, so this is what you do to show that you belong to me. So it's that show of loyalty. So it's not all the time, but some pimps do that. Yes, sir. They are increasing, and with the deals that the city attorney's office and district attorney's office have made with the Johns specifically, of not pleading things out, that is getting our conviction rates higher. Our laws actually changed July 1 of last year. We were among the bottom 4 states in the country for our human trafficking laws. Last year, July 1, we had some new laws take effect, and we're now among the top states. So we do expect those conviction rates to go up and to have much more harsher punishments for people who have been convicted. Yes, ma'am. For the Johns or for the pimps? The Johns. You know, we don't really look at what their income level is. I will say that we have had Johns across the entire strata. We've had guys who are maintenance workers in the hotel that we're doing the operation in. We've had guys who are on kind of government assistance. We've had guys who make $250,000 a year and everything in between. It's kind of difficult to tell what an income level of somebody is by their picture. But if I were to tell you some of the jobs that some of those people had, it may not jive with what you're envisioning their job must be. So.